All right, Southwest Florida, you are looking live at the Station 17, one of the fine fire department stations in the city of Fort Myers. We're so glad that the fire department has hosted us here, Lee Pitts Live, and we've had a parade of outstanding guests who've been coming through in the past 4 weeks. Got another great guest who's come here. She's the new executive director for the Lee County Black History Museum. That will be one Autumn Watkins Holloway. Welcome to Lee Pitts Live.
Thank you.
Let me bump you in. Autumn, it has been since around 1995 since I formally had you on the show in 1995. Just for history's sake, let people know why and how old you were, or about how old you were when you came on the show.
My first time on the show, I was probably about 5 or 6 years old.
You're aging me. Well, at least what people know when I say that the show is 31 years old, I'm telling the truth, right?
Yes.
I have an eyewitness from the Historic Museum. She has historically documented that we were around then before cable was what it was and Netflix was what it was.
Yes.
Love that shirt. Tell our TV audience what that is we're looking at. That's your logo?
This is our logo for the Lee County Black History Society, where I am the proud new executive director.
When did you first get exposed to the Lee County Black History Museum and Society? Did you always go into Clemente Park back in the day, and did you ever envision that one day you would be the executive director?
So I have always participated in events at the Lee County Black History Society. I've always enjoyed the museum, the Williams Academy Black History Museum. And to be honest, I did not envision myself as an executive director there, but I was not very surprised when God opened that door, because I know that all things are possible through Him. So I don't like to put a cap on just how far we can go in life.
You've been in that position now for, I would say, what has it been, 4 months or so?
Believe it or not, we have accomplished a lot in a very short period of time, but I officially took the role June 15th.
Okay, it hasn't even been 2 months then.
Correct.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot going on. I mean, all this information coming out, different meetings, so you're really excited and you hit the ground running, huh?
Yes.
When you think about the Lee County Black History Museum, which is one entity, and then the society is another, what does that really mean to you, to the Lee County area?
So just so that you know, the Lee County Black History Society is the overarching organization, and the Williams Academy Black History Museum falls under that organization. So we are really one. As a fourth generation Fort Myers native and Dunbar resident, it means the world to me to be in this position, having the opportunity to make sure that others in our community know about our rich African American history and the local and national leaders that we have in our community. It's just amazing.
You, give us a little background on you. When you're pretty popular in the community, your dad has a big church, Jesus Christ Outreach Center, plugging you, Pastor Watkins. Tell us about Autumn, where you come from, how you got into this point.
Okay, so for the past 20 years, I have been in education. I have served the county as a history teacher. As of recent, I just finished being the college and career specialist at Bonita Springs High School, where I created and operated the College and Career Center. Over the past several years of teaching, I have taught everything from pre-K all the way to the collegiate level. Years ago, I founded and operated JCOC Christian Preparatory Academy. And from there, I realized that there was such a strong need for children to have a solid educational foundation. After that, I went back into the public sector, teaching and continuing my educational career there. And as of recent, we just recently chartered the Jack and Jill of America chapter here. I'm sorry, I apologize. we recently chartered the Southwest Florida chapter of Jack and Jill of America Incorporated, which is a mother's organization dedicated to raising future African American leaders. And as you mentioned, during this time, I've also continued to be the youth director and also an administrative leader at Jesus Christ Outreach Center, where my parents, Bishop Halsey and Dr. Linda Watkins, are the pastors and founders of an outstanding ministry that we've had for the past 35 years.
Yeah, just the way when you laid out your background, I can see where a lot of things in your background makes you uniquely qualified and a great person to have at that position as an executive director. We do know that history in the state of Florida, particularly Black history and just history in general, a lot of things are being changed about how we teach our history and whether certain things are being taught in the school. This is going to really raise the profile and the importance of documenting our history in a place where we can get those types of things well documented for future's sake. That makes the museum and the Black History Society even more important. Speak to that.
I agree 100%. I believe that African American history is America's history. So it is important that we make sure that our future generations are educated, that they know their history, so that some of those dark times, they do not repeat themselves. In order to improve the future, you must know where you come from.
The future for the museum, what are some plans for the museum? We've been hearing a lot of outstanding things. Recently, I had the Senator of Dunbar, Attorney Joe North, and the First Lady of Dunbar, Bonita North, on my show, and they talked about their being a part of helping the museum realize its full potential. Go ahead and talk about some of the things planned in the future.
Thank you for the opportunity. And you've mentioned a dear friend of mine, Attorney Joe North, and his beautiful wife, Bonita. And I appreciate their support because they recently donated $100,000 to the Lee County Black History Society. And that contribution enabled us the opportunity to be able to hire staff. You may or may not know, but I am the first full-time employee in the history of the Lee County Black History Society. We have been able to manage over the past 33 years solely off of volunteers, a committed board, and part-time employees. So as far as where we are right now, we are currently moving into phase 2 of our strategic development plan, which phase 2 is that we are getting ready to build a $1 million playground. We received a grant, and this playground is going to be an all-inclusive playground for children of all ability groups. And then following that part of phase 2, we are going to begin building the pavilion, the basketball pavilion, and also an amphitheater. So we have some very exciting things happening right now in phase 2. And the huge project, which is phase 3, is the Black Cultural Center. And we are excited to work on that project with the city of Fort Myers. And we are eager to try and get that building ready and up and going so that it can be a great asset to the city of Fort Myers.
What would be your timeline for something like that cultural center? Are you looking at a 5-year plan? Has that been talked about?
So the discussion is actually closer than 5 years. So we are hoping within the next 2 to 3 years that we will be able to begin construction of that building.
Going back to the Senator of Dunbar, Attorney Joe North, and First Lady Bonita North of the North Law Firm, I've been around here for a minute, so I don't have to guess at this, but that would be $100,000 would be the largest contribution ever made to that museum, particularly by African Americans. I don't know if anybody other than African Americans, individuals like that, have made substantial contribution. To your knowledge, anybody?
To my knowledge, I'm not aware of anyone else that has, but I would hope that others in our community would follow the lead of Attorney North and his family and try their best to try and match some of those contributions or make even greater contributions, because the project of the Cultural Center is going to take an estimate of $25 to $30 million. So you will hear lots of campaigning for those capital funds.
And every dollar matters.
Yes.
What are some ways if people want to get started right now to engage with what you're doing? There's a website you can call out or something? It's just, hey, go get involved and start getting involved with this, with what's going to be happening in the future?
Absolutely. They can check out our website, which I'm sure you will post on the screen. In addition, they can come over to the museum and volunteer. They can also become a member. Membership is currently only $50, and they're always welcome to make donations, volunteer their time, their money, their service, their skills. In any way they like, they are welcome to do so.
I'm going to call this website out verbally as well, because this is also going to air on my radio show, so they can't see it.
Oh,
that would be Lee County BHS Black History Society.org. Let's go to the partnerships with the local schools and those types of things. You talked about your background as an educator. Is that very critical and vital that the museum has a great partnership with the schools?
Absolutely. We are in the midst of creating some great partnerships with FGCU and also with FSW. We currently have a project in the works where Vic Jones, who's the university of one of the university's archivists, she is actually working on helping us to digitalize some of our archives, and she works for Florida Gulf Coast University.
The one thing I want to make sure that I mention is that, just like you said, Black history is everybody's history, and everybody is, we welcome everybody to visit the museum, as well as to contribute to the development of the new phases that are coming along, the amphitheater and all those types of things. I just want you to have the opportunity to let everybody know that everybody is welcome.
Thank you for mentioning that. Everyone is 100% welcome at the Lee County Black History Society and Williams Academy Museum. We welcome diversity. We are thrilled to be a staple organization here in our community that embraces everyone.
Outstanding. When you wake up in the morning, headed to the museum, what's on your highest priority list?
The highest thing on my priority list is making sure that I am a great representative of our community. Not just the society, not just myself, but I want to make sure that I'm representing our community well.
Have you started to visit with other organizations yet? What has been some of their feedback and partnership and just learning all about that important oasis sitting right there off of Martin Luther King Drive on Henderson Avenue, and also named after great civil rights leader Willie Battle?
Yes, in fact, yesterday I had the opportunity to go over to the Southwest Florida Historical Society, and I was in a meeting trying to dig through some of the directories of the city as we are working on a very awesome project and exhibit highlighting the Anderson Avenue Business District from 1960 to 1980.
A lot went on during that time.
Yes.
Any specific, you mentioned exhibits, but projects, events that are coming up in the future?
Yes, we have, in the month of September, we are a part of the city's 30 Days of Arts and Culture. And on September 8th, we are going to host Museum After Dark. It is a beautiful event where we will have a touring of the museum. We'll also feature live music by the Dunbar High School Jazz Band.
Oh, the Dunbar High School Jazz Band. That's going to be really nice. That park is just a beautiful park. The more we have in that park is just going to be great for the community. Under your new design, will you have more parking space as well?
Yes, so parking is a huge feat at the location that we're at now, and yes, we are working on a design that definitely includes additional parking.
Okay. Well, with what you're doing and what I do, I think I'll be seeing a lot more of you since you were 5 years old, coming on here, keeping us updated.
I look forward to the opportunity.
It's been a pleasure to have you on the show. We're so happy and so blessed to have you in that position, and look forward to helping you in any ways that we possibly can here at Lead Pitch Live. How about that?
Thank you.
As the saying goes on this particular show, for those who say it can't be done, they're usually interrupted by those like Autumn and all the fine people at the Black History Society who are doing it. And remember, Miami may have the oranges, but the Lee County Black History Museum has got the
juice.
Got the juice. We'll see you.
Lead Pitch Live is a Lead Pitch Enterprise production.
Hello, everybody. This is Lee. I'm so glad that you watched that particular show. And if you enjoyed that show, we got other shows like that. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch Lead Pitch Live on demand anytime. And also hit us up on all our social media platforms. Just type in Lead Pitch Live, and there you go.